G'day traders, Mindset Reset. It's Free Cash Thursday today. And we're going to address a couple of things. Obviously mindset, it's always about the mindset. And we're going to answer some questions. And I'm going to revisit a couple things that we discussed yesterday. Now first, the first thing I want to talk about today is having a singular focus, which, one of the problems for traders is that they are trying to look for best trade setups on different markets and not one singular focus. Now the playbook caters to different types of opportunities. Essentially they're all similar in that they build from 3-session setups to larger 3-day templates. Now some people have a greater disposition to going long or trend trading. Some traders like myself, I like the idea of hunting out the shorting opportunities. I just have this, Paul Tudor Jones talks about things getting destroyed 100 times faster than they get built up. And that's one of the things I want to discuss is that one trader messaged me today saying, you've got it all wrong. You got the dump and I see now and I'm actually long. But I've always said this, I don't care what you're doing to make money. My approach, my own personal, the way that I'm wired, I'm hunting for coils that are going to explode that I can scale into. They're over fast. They're a strong convictional trade, meaning that they're going to go and wipe a crowd of people out. And in my case, if I'm biased to the short side in most of my trades, people who are on the escalator up. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. So my thrust of this area of the conversation today is you have to find what you resonate with the best. Some people now, I talk about scalability. I want to be able to scale into something that's going to move quickly, that I know has the thrust of other time frame traders driving that move, and there's a reason why it's going to happen. The psychology behind why that's going to go parabolic. It's going to wipe people out. And it's going to go fast because they're going to get the money. They got people trapped. That's what a parabolic trade does, no matter what time frame it's on. But when you align that with other time frames, it will go usually from one side of the range to the other, or from where you're at in the market to the other side. So I have, I'll talk about a couple of people today. For example, having a laser-like focus is critical. Whether you're hunting out the setup on multiple instruments, whether you're mastering one instrument. Now, my approach is geared more at finding the setups on a basket of instruments. And for the most part, 80 to 90% of my trades are on indexes and the metals. But I'm looking for one or two during the week, which we'll talk about as well, on the currency pairs. I have a bit of a bias towards the Asian cross pairs, because there's an opportunity often that will build day 1, day 2, day 3 into a Wednesday or Thursday parabolic. And I'm going to be going over one of those in the technical video to point out and align again with the video that I put out about building your watch list, because there's some really simple things to look for based on where markets close in breakout. So some of my fellow traders, for example, Trader K, he specializes on oil. He probably, looks at other instruments. I don't know how often he may trade them, but the bulk of his specialization is on oil. I know that Marvelous has 8 rules that have to be met for him to take his trades. Now today, I know he was backing the trucks up and he was ready, and there was a couple things that his rules didn't get met on, and I respect the fact that he held tight to his rules. My friend Steven, he only trades markets once they break out and not until the 3rd hour. And he is hardwired to do that. And there's a reason why. And I talked about scar tissue and all these things. We're all wired differently, okay? Based on our past experiences, based on scar tissue in the markets, a lot of things that will help you build and wire you to how you need to trade to get your best results. But I encourage you to develop a laser-like focus, whether it's on an instrument or on a setup, or setups, if you've mastered a couple of them, front side, back side, so that you don't have fear of getting in, or FOMO, your fear of missing out, or not knowing when to take profits, not knowing to get into a market. So today's a great example on gold. First bar, I talked about this yesterday. First bar is a news momentum catalyst opportunity, which will usually involve having volume trapped up high or down low. Now, I'm going to go over this video in a technical video as well with gold, because that is a rinse and repeat setup. And one comment from a trader was sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. My response to that is using that phrase as a crutch is an excuse for not having mastery over a setup. First red day, go back and look at the 9:10 a.m. candle yesterday at closing price and look exactly to where the news candle, just before on the 5-minute news candle, where it spiked out. Now I'm going to go into detail on this, but Monday broke out and closed at the extreme. Traders are asking, well, I thought Tuesday was first red day. I thought Tuesday was first red day. First red day, okay, Tuesday was an inside day up high. It's a first red day. The day before CPI. I don't care what it is. It's the day before CPI. CPI ends up being an outside day. That is the first red day. Now, I put that video out again about Wednesday, midpoint range of the week, signal days. Think about it. Day 1, day 2, day 3, midpoint range. We do have some situations where we'll get a first red day on a Tuesday. Guess what that usually is involving? A market that's closed in breakout on the downside. A market that's closed in breakout on the downside. If it's closed on the upside and Tuesday's the first red day, chances are it could be a breakout pullback, continuation Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or it needs to break down. We could have other news on the calendar that will have that market break down and possibly give a first red day trade on the Thursday. A big move, a range expansion trade. We'll talk about that later. But I want to just give my fellow traders a lot of respect, because there are traders who you're still struggling and lacking consistency. And here's one of the things I'll say to the trader who said, again, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. My question is then, what is going to be different next week when the same setup shows up, possibly, maybe even on the same instrument? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's on the backside after a first red day, and that is a short covering day. They brought it up there with 3 levels, 3 distinct levels. If you go and look at how the market closed, they immediately had all the volume starting at the beginning of the day above closing price. So yesterday broke the low of day from Tuesday, the inside day. We have a range expansion on the downside. They start the process on Wednesday night, beginning to bring traders up into level 2. So you're already buying above the low of day in a market that's broken out short. Creeping trend all the way up. That's a slow auction process, a very subtle slow auction process. Short coverings back up into the closing price from Monday for the elevator ride down on a news momentum catalyst. Now here's the next thing with that. After 5 minutes, even after 5 minutes, it's a large 5-minute candle. Traders are scared to get in. So answering a specific question about first bar. First bar was a large bar, and it had a wick on the bottom. But the thesis is still the same. They're trapping volume up high. The second minute was a pin hammer. Now, so 2 things. You don't have to trade that, which is the whole point of this first part, is which trade setups do you resonate with the best? If you decide that this is a trade setup that you want to scale into or enter into, it's a large candle on the 5-minute close. After the news is released, go back to work. Go back to work. 5-minute candle closes. We have an engulfment in a market that is still being driven by other time frame sellers. That was the area where all the selling occurred from yesterday. Is it possible that sellers could step into that market again today? It was a selling level yesterday. Monday's closing price. So if you do decide, and it's a larger candle, as I said yesterday, scale your position sizing down so that your risk is still the same, whatever you're risking on that trade. Or, as I like to do, I will have a starter in there. As it's confirming, I have no problem adding into the close of the 5-minute candle. Then my average price is still distributed in that first 4 minutes of that move down. That is me. That is me. I like to short things. And I've seen this again and again and again. And just don't ever forget this phrase. The market's job is to disappoint as many people as possible, to shift the money from the many to the few. It is not supposed to make sense. It is not a, technical analyst, blah, blah, blah. It's a setup. Gold especially. Do you think that they're trading gold bars back and forth all day long? There's like physical bars being bought and sold. Think about it. It's a manufactured paper market that, does the same things over and over and over again, which is why if you step back, like one trader said today, he waited for that specific opportunity all week. And with gold, there's going to be weeks where it just doesn't, it defies things, and there's being driven by other potential institutional buyers, whatever. It may not reflect that opportunity, but rinse and repeat, gold often will not disappoint. So coming back to the traders that I'm talking about, they specialize. They specialize in what they do. And there's reasons for that. Again, we're all wired differently. My suggestion would be for you to pick one or two things that you resonate with the best and really hone in on that with a singular laser-like focus. That way, when your trade setup shows up on any instrument or on your instrument that you've mastered, you have zero hesitation or fear or emotion or misunderstanding or jibber jabber or self-talk in the back of your head or your counting pushes or you're measuring little, tea leaf sticks. You know exactly what you're looking for and what you're going to do when it presents, how you're going to extract profits, whether you're all in, all out, whether you scale in, scale out, whether you go for range expansions, whatever that is. The more you master your setup, the less hesitancy, fear, analysis paralysis, scratching your head. There are traders who execute flawlessly without hesitation. They're done and dusted. Other traders are scratching their head going, what happened? What happened? So only you can fix that. That's what the mindset shift is here. I talked about this again yesterday. What setup have you mastered? You are the master of your ship. So if you're getting wishy-washy results, then that's probably because your approach is wishy-washy. The more specific and the more certainty you have about every aspect of your routine, your process, your selection, the setup that you're hunting, how to manage and execute that in live time, and also the awareness, discipline, and just complete control to not do anything else, which is very hard for a lot of traders. They'll sit at the screen all day looking for stuff, just watching it move, looking for another little in and out, whatever, execute, lock in the money, and walk away. So my approach is scalability. So the more the template evolves into the backside and our ranges expand, we have larger scalable opportunities, hence the monkey hammer. So talking about self-control, self-talk, self-sabotage, eliminate distractions. Eliminate distractions. What are distractions? Distractions could be your whole work area. Distractions could be having multiple charts up. Distractions can be having 4 or 5 different systems that you trade. Distractions can be checking your social media all the time. Distractions can be being on live chat rooms and servers and signal services and message boards while you're still hunting trades and chatting back and forth. Distractions. All distractions are the same. They're a waste of time. They interfere with you having absolute focus and mastery over what you should be doing in the present moment when you're at the screen looking for or executing a best trade candidate, a 90-10 opportunity. What is 90-10? I keep going over that. If you're not sure what 90-10 is, you should stop trading until you know what that is, and then understand how it builds into a setup, which is where I talk about this in the watch list. What opportunities could offer. For me, I'm looking for parabolics. So what types of markets are going to give me a potential candidate, and which candidates are setting up on the day into a pump and dump or a dump and pump template? I like pump and dumps. The more you focus on one thing, the more obvious and easily visual is to the eye. Like Stephen talks about, build your muscle memory. Like if you do thousands of that, building them, trading them, screwing up, doing it better, doing it better, doing it better, doing it better, scaling it up, doing it better, screwing up, doing it better. How many times before you actually do the same trade setup, before you say, okay, I've been here 1,000 times before. It's like Groundhog Day, the movie. I'm going to do it right this time. I'm going to stop fricking around with everything else and getting in too early, chasing the move, over leveraging, under leveraging, not taking profits, moving my stop, whatever all the things are that destroy trading accounts. Because again, the trader is the variable that is usually the problem. So when people want to, they're all over the place. Most people are all over the place. I had a patient years ago say to me, do you know anybody who does anything with 100% conviction and certainty to what they do? And when you really think about it, how many people, I know lots of people go to work every day and they hide in the paper or the cafeteria, or they hide in the lunchroom, they hide in the closet, they're getting paid and they do nothing. Well, this is a profession where you'll get paid if you master yourself, if you master your skill set in live time, if you master certain easy money making setups. That's the truth. There's no rubbish behind that. Anybody who says otherwise, no problem. I don't really care, because nothing can stop you when you do those things. When you master them, and you master yourself, and you master the patience and discipline to just go and find those setups every day, every week, whether it's 2 or 3 times, and you don't do anything else to damage those results, and they're scalable in size, what's going to stop you? What can stop you? Some other furu's, dislike of how you're doing that? No, nothing can stop you. Nothing. Nobody can stop you. Doesn't matter what anybody says. That's why when people chirp and they get cranky and emotional, as I said yesterday, that's just a reflection. The market, your results are a reflection of where you're at right now. Your results are a reflection. It's a mirror to where you're at right now, whether that's in your behavior, the behavior of the trader, whether that's in your lack of specialization or mastery on a setup or setups, whether that's your haphazard nature in hunting out the best instruments, or your haphazard nature about executing consistently day in and day out. So some traders caught this move, but they missed that move. Now, here's the question I have. If you're hunting one setup, how do you miss it? How do you miss it? Now, you might miss the instrument on the day. No problem. I understand it. That can happen. But if you're hunting and mastering 1 or 2 instruments, or you've got a basket, you narrow it down to 1 or 2, and you miss it, okay, so what? Why did you miss it? Have an actionable review process. How are you going to not miss it next time? Missing it means that you're distracted, you're doing other things. Unless it didn't come up in your basket, you just happened to not see that instrument on the day, whatever. But if you have that chart up, and it's setting up and you've got that, and you're scared, or you get in, or the market is designed to fool you 90% of the time. Then there's the times that it doesn't fool you and it just does exactly what it's supposed to with no smoke and mirrors. And that's what throws traders off sometimes. So you have to have absolute mastery over all of those things. I love Dalton's title of the book, Mind Over Markets, because that's what it is. It's mind over markets. I don't care if there's nothing new. Yeah, the markets are doing the same thing they have since day one. Some furu didn't invent an algorithm that just all of a sudden started to change how markets traded. They've done the same things from day one. 2 things that are consistent. Markets move, and traders do all kinds of crazy self-sabotaging things to destroy any possibility of them ever being consistently profitable in the markets. So you can't change the smoke and mirrors, but what can you change? What do you have control over? You have control over yourself. Your decision to either master 1 or 2 or 3 easy money-making setups. Your decision to make sure you don't do anything reckless and destructive that can destroy your trading account. Your decision to not be randomly, haphazardly trading. Like my friend Steven does not touch anything until 3rd hour. Like, he's got it so tight, it's almost impossible for him to mess up. But we both know, him and I, that because of scar tissue in the past, it's a subtle little decision on the wrong day that can undo a lot of good results, which is why you have to keep working 1% better every single day, like Niche says. Unless you master yourself, there's no hope. There's no hope. And that's the truth. Now, if you're running an algorithm or a quantitative system, completely different model. You have to, in my opinion, be running multiple models in order to have a basket covered with mean reversion, trend trading, reversals, different types of systems running with a basket of capital over multiple instruments, so that you can handle the drawdowns that will happen with running one system. And then at the end of the month, you're still, or end of the week, your multiple systems are producing green results that you can gradually scale up and run consistently over multiple markets, because the basket running multiple systems continues to grow, and you can scale that slowly up in size and still be having tight risk control and everything, because it's fully automated. Now, most small retail traders don't have that luxury, whereas institutions or traders who have access to a larger basket have that opportunity. Or if you have those models built, and you have the leverage that you can slowly scale that up over time. I will be doing a couple technical videos, one on 3 specific case studies of this week, and then also we'll expand on building your watch list into the second day of the template on Tuesday, day 2. And so today, my parting message to you is to really decide what you resonate with the best. Number one, which types of trades do you find that you find them the easiest, you execute them the best, I don't care if you're a swing trader, it doesn't matter. But what do you do the best? What works the best for you? How do you emotionally, your skill set, how do you perform your best at managing, executing, extracting profits, managing risk, all those things? What setup? And then get really laser focused on those. Decide if you want to master an instrument with 1 or 2 setups that may present, or 1 or 2 instruments that may present in a basket over a week or in the market over a week. But get really focused. Whether you are hunting out 1 or 2 setups on a basket of 20 instruments, front side, backside, a 3-session setup, and maybe a 3-day setup. You get 1 or 2 of each of those. Those are scalable. You can significantly compound your trading account. Significantly. So get focused. Get focused. If you're wishy-washy, again, if your results aren't, the final question is this: are you happy with your results? Your results are a mirror and a reflection of where you're at. If you're not happy with where you're at, use that mirror to fine-tune and get really tight and super focused, laser-like focused, whether it's in behavior of the trader, whether it's instrument identification, whether it's setup identification, whether it's lifetime trade execution, whether it's performance-based in terms of your routine, your process, your daily routine. Maybe you just run to the screen every morning really quick and turn it on and look for something. What do you need to do to lift your game? What do you need to do to get the results that you're after? So one parting little message, my son's at football training camp, and I had an interview with Mark Devine, Navy SEAL Trident, a few years ago. I would recommend going back and watching that video. One of the things that they do at BUDS, the Naval SEAL Academy at BUDS, is the recruits that get through. I think there was 180 applicants, or 180 that got accepted into BUDS. 18 graduated in Mark's class. He was the Trident, the top Navy SEAL. But one of the things that when you make it through that is that your belief when you start the program versus to when you graduate is that they show you, they train you, that you can become 20 times greater than what you believed you were capable of achieving or handling. And they give you the tools to do that. So right now I'm going to suggest to you that you're scratching the surface on what you are capable of doing. But there's only one thing preventing you from getting the results that you're after. And if you go look in the mirror, that'll be your answer. So fine tune and get focused. And each day peel the layers back one at a time. You can have anything that you want. You can have anything that you want. The market doesn't change. Every week, people who have been here every week, okay, the same things happen over and over again. And as I said, some people are getting 1% better every single day, and they're taking that out And there's other people scratching their head going, what happened? I still don't see anything. I don't get it. So my challenge to you is pick something that you do get and then build around that. Focus on what works for you and then make it work for you 20 times better than what it's working right now. Have a great day, traders, and may the markets go with you.